So, what are you up to today? What you?
Um, Man, I'm moving. So
Oh,
I'm at
really?
Home Depot parking lot right now, getting some boxes.
Awesome.
Um,
There you go. Where are you moving to?
to Nashville.
Oh,
Uh,
Nashville. Fire, fire. All right.
yeah, yeah. Where do you stay?
So I'm right now in New York, but I'm from Massachusetts.
Okay, gotcha. See, I never met somebody from Massachusetts, so let's go. Off the
Really?
list. There you go.
That's fire, bro. Hey,
Next.
man, I've been to Nashville. I went to the Bonnaroo concert a couple years ago. I helped out over there. So yeah,
Okay,
I've been to Nashville like for a minute. It was literally like I was there for at the airport, and then I headed out to wherever the Bonnaroo is. I think it's like I honestly can't even remember.
okay. In Tennessee,
Yeah, it's in
the
Tennessee.
bottom.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. So you saw like the skyline from the airport, and then
Yes, dude. Bro, I felt the weather over there. I felt how hot it gets during the day, and then after I'm done sweating, it turns fucking freezing cold at night.
yeah, yeah, crazy, man, crazy. I can't wear any grays, no whites. It's
It's yeah, I get it, bro. The
it's the wet
stains,
t-shirt
what happened?
concept. Well, you're from the East Coast too, so it's probably a little colder in Mass even in the summer, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's weird over here because sometimes it gets really hot. Well, I guess my like definition of hot is different than yours, but for me, it gets hot, bro. It can get hot here, like really, really bad during the summer.
Okay,
But during the winter, it could just you feel the winter. You don't feel any hot. It's like
gotcha,
each season you feel a lot more in the East Coast.
gotcha. Yeah, it's definitely. I'm not originally from Tennessee, so getting accustomed to like the different seasons has been a lot of fun. So
So where are you originally from? Tell me about your story. Tell me like who. Well, first off, let's get this off the list. Your name change. I know that you're going through a name change, so I want to.
yeah.
What should I call you for the rest of this interview? What should we call you during this feature?
Oh, bro, I'm Stephen Cranberry.
Stephen Cranberry. I fuck with it. Okay, what's
There
the
you go.
reasoning behind this? You went from Churchill to Stephen Cranberry. What's with that?
There's no real reason. I wish there was something cool and like inspiring about it, but it's just a name, man. I think it's like it feels wholesome. I've been Churchill for forever, and I'm super thankful for everything that's been. It's been super cool, and I'm in a new era. I feel I'm a little older. The music's different.
Yeah.
And so I just want to embrace the change. And I just came back from like 3 years of not doing it, so I just want to try something new and step into this new phase, man, and be Stephen Cranberry.
But so like,
Um,
what made you choose Stephen Cranberry? Like, did you just look at a cranberry and go, "Oh yeah, Stephen Cranberry, call me that"? Like,
well, I moved in with my buddy Drinkwater Shane.
okay.
Um, and we're on his Netflix account when we first moved in, and his profile was Stephen Cranberry. I'm like,
Okay.
bro, bro, who's Stephen Cranberry? He's like, that's my alias if I ever go missing.
Mmm.
And I just thought that was hilarious. And then so we named like our merch brand Stephen Cranberry, and I just like for whatever reason I just love the name. So
Well, you know he
uh,
needs a new alias now if he goes missing.
that is true. That is true. That'd be me. That'd be
Yeah, well, no, it's true. It's very, very true. So, so yeah, yeah. So tell me about Stephen Cranberry. Who is Stephen Cranberry? Like, where'd you grow up? That type of deal.
okay. Well, I was born in Oregon, right on the border of California and Oregon, in this place called Grants Pass. I don't know if you've ever been to Dutch Bros, but that's where Dutch Bros started.
I've never been.
Okay, okay. Well, good coffee spot. Um, but I moved to California when I was maybe like 10 or so to Sacramento, just outside of Sacramento.
Okay, cool.
And yeah, man, that's where I grew up. I mean, I consider Sacramento to be like my hometown, I guess. That's where I went to high school, and all the homies are there and my family's there. My I'm a lineal descendant of a tribe up there, and so all my tribal family are in that area, and that's like where our tribe was from historically.
Wow.
So I definitely consider Sacramento to be my hometown. But
So what is this tribe? Like, what's the tribe that your lineage is?
um, they're called Miwok. We're
Okay.
Miwoks. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But yeah, so it's cool to seeing being a part of that culture. I went to the tribal school there. It was like me and a couple of my cousins in the class.
Fire.
uh, we try to have like school dances and stuff, but like we're all related, so it's like
Yeah, the slow dance part, probably everybody want to skip over that,
yeah, yeah,
definitely,
yeah, exactly,
for sure.
exactly. But you know,
So this this idea of community, like you obviously grew up in a very like tight-knit community. Did that influence your music at all?
this is a good question. Let me see. Yeah, 100%, man. Especially now that I'm older, I think the music that I'm making now is much more. It's less self-centered, where like I got this and I do that, and and it's more just about like, um, I don't know. I feel like I try to, especially in Christianity, I'm a big Christian, and the music that I'm making isn't necessarily like hardcore worship music, but
Hmm.
I think in my mind, I like to think that I'm, talking about like our points of view, maybe, and the things that maybe we go through, or things that are important to us as like Christian folks. So like the community in that aspect. I mean, I take a lot of pride in that, and that's something I think about when I'm making music or what songs come out. So yeah, I guess it's been the community aspect is super important to me. Um, but but yeah, man.
Yeah, dude, I love it. Like, so you have this ability to in your music, and when just talking to you right now, like you're very authentic. Like you're very authentically like just yourself, and I find that you're able to do that in your music as well. So how are you able to grow as an artist while also staying authentic within your music and growing that as well?
Well, first off, I appreciate you saying that. Thank you. It's very kind. Um, Man, I mean, we all have a North Star of like what we like, you know. Um, and I think it's just like trusting that, because obviously we can all compromise our taste to know what the mass is like. And back in the day, I was definitely guilty of doing that. Like, I sound like I want to be like Juice World, I want to be like that,
Yeah.
But then you sort of play the songs for people and like kind of anticipating they're gonna like it, and then when they like it, it doesn't really feel very good, you know. Like you don't feel like you're like you found an ally,
Mm.
I guess. So really just like no matter what, no matter even if it's less streams, whatever, following what your taste is, because we all know like what we would prefer. So and I mean it's tough because you have to do some catering, right? You can't just
Yeah.
So I mean I've something I'm still working on now. But I definitely try to be honest with myself and ask myself like, do I really like this? You know?
No, absolutely, man. And so when talking about this idea of like, maybe not catering to a certain audience and maybe doing what you want, have there been times where you've done what you wanted and it hasn't maybe worked out and it's almost felt like you felt like giving up or something like that? Has that ever happened to you in your career?
Um, hmm. Yeah, I mean, it was definitely hard when I made the switch from secular music to sort of my more like Christian based stuff.
Yeah.
Um, you know, there was a obviously not everyone's was Christian and stuff, so it was kind of hard to there wasn't a straight conversion of, my old listeners to the new stuff.
Mm.
But it truthfully just felt like something I just really was, kind of thirsty to do, and I wanted to do it. So there wasn't any like, should I give up? It was more like I just knew I had to find, the people that wanted to hear this. I knew I was like kind of starting over, if that makes sense.
No, I totally get it. You knew that you were gonna still do this, but it was just who's gonna be listening to it type deal. So
Yeah,
awesome.
exactly. Yeah,
So
and there's some people, some people weren't very happy that did that, and I never meant to like offend anybody or take away music from people, but it just felt like the right thing for me personally and something I had to do. So
do you feel like
um,
you offended anybody? Do you feel like anybody was offended by this change?
um maybe, and like I said, that was never my intention, and I get some messages, like, oh, where's your old songs at and stuff, and I wish I never had to take those away from people, but it just um it just felt like such a freeing thing, something I just had to do for myself. And I'm so small. So it's kind of like now or never, It's easier to make these changes when you're a small artist and when you start building an image in the world and a brand.
And I
And
think the real fans too will stick with you. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like I think
yeah,
that they'll grow with you and they'll see your vision and it changes. Like sure you're gonna change, but the people will grow with you type deal. So
yeah, dude, 100%, 100%. I got some incredible people that are supportive of my music, and they've been riders for years, man. So I'm very thankful for them, and yeah, so absolutely, they definitely change with you, and they understand. So
Was there a moment like in this like change where you knew that this was the right track, like that like everything, this whole transition into a more, faith-based and more you-based music was the right move?
Um, yeah, man. I've mentioned before how like when you cater really hard and you make what you think people want to hear, it's not very fulfilling. And you're kind of just like, oh, like, thank you, you know. But when I switched and people would tell me that they like it and they're like, yo, like this is touching to me and moving to me, it's definitely been super fulfilling and like kind of, you know, riles me up. I get super hyped. And so the feeling of just like being fulfilled in what you're doing when people like it, I think that's definitely been the what tells me that I'm probably doing the right thing. And this makes me excited to keep doing it, you know.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's just that's what you want to do, to be able to enjoy this music thing. Like that's what can you ask for? There's nothing better than that, you know?
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. It's a blessing.
What's been the coolest part about being an artist so far for you?
Hmm. Coolest part about being an artist. I think all the homies that I've met from, people just reaching out and I mean, I know people from all over the country and even the world in some cases from people that are just have been fans and been supportive of me and we get to chop it up in the DMs and later like they're on Xbox with me. Even I met my best friend Drinkwater Shane through the SoundCloud DMs.
Oh, wow,
Um,
really?
so yeah, I was like 15. So yeah, I think the just the people that I've been able to meet because of the music has been incredible. It's been a blessing.
So wait, I gotta hear this. You were 15 years old.
Yeah,
You're
yeah,
just what? You're scrolling through SoundCloud. You're looking at Juice World edits,
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
what you get a DM or you DM Drinkwater Shane, and you guys start to make music. What's going on? Like,
Yeah, I got a feature with Koi.
okay,
Um, yeah, yeah, big Koi fan. But I did a feature with Koi, and that song dropped, and then I got a DM from these boys they're called sadboys.net. And that's like peak SoundCloud, right there.
yeah,
But they just reached out, be like, yo, we should work, whatever. So like we got each other's Snapchats, and then the rest is history. Dude, we started just making all these songs, and um, yeah, man, it's been crazy. And then we moved in together. We lived in LA, and it
really.
was yeah, it was crazy, crazy, crazy.
Do you have any crazy LA stories? As I'm wearing the LA hat.
Crazy LA story. You mean like in what type of crazy we talking here?
Hey man, whatever crazy you're willing to share. Like what, like just something that sticks out to you as like, wow, like that was the first big story that comes to your mind. Like, wow, that was a crazy story. That they couldn't handle that. Like,
Um, well, I mean, I guess talking about SoundCloud, obviously, like Internet Money was the peak of SoundCloud. I mean, I everyone wanted to be a part of that. And my first time, or my one of my first times going to LA, I got to go to the like the house, and hang out and do a little session.
hmm
And that was just like the most incredible thing ever. You're kind of just like, woo, and you're all nervous to record and stuff. But yeah, so I think this, being able to, the music took me to that place I've always wanted to be a part of. You see your peers going to, um, uh, but crazy other. I mean, you see some crazy things. I think me and Shane saw a guy pooping on the street one time.
yeah, man. There,
Um,
there you go. It's,
but I mean, that'll happen. I've been there. I've been there. I know what it's like.
yeah, bro. Hey, I'm in New York. You'll see that everywhere. Like that's just
Yeah, yeah,
average.
yeah,
They
absolutely.
got the suits on and they're pooping on the street type deal. Like
Really, Wall Street's go. I mean, that's a lot of stress, man. You
it's
gotta
a
find.
lot of stress out there, bro. So, talk to me about your music. What initially drew you to doing music, and when did you realize like that music was something that you wanted to do with your life?
Well, I grew up in church, and my family was the worship team.
Okay.
So just seeing like my parents perform, and they had like a band, they had like a audio recording of themselves, like Mick writing their own songs. So there was never a moment where I was like, I mean, just doing music was just normal. Everyone did that. So I got to play the drums for church, and everyone was always singing and stuff. And then I moved to California, like I've mentioned, and my tribal school had a studio in it. It had like a nice, we had like a blue Bird mic, whatever, and like
Okay,
Logic and
yeah.
all the computers. And I would grind that every day in our computers class. I'd just be, trying to freestyle, making my teacher pull up YouTube beats and, just going for it. So it just always felt super natural. Like that's something that everyone did.
Hmm.
Um, but then eighth grade, I bought my first little Steinberg,
Oh,
uh,
okay, yeah.
or yeah, the little interface and a mic, and I made a song for one of my school projects. It was about like the Revolutionary War. I just sang a song about that.
Do you remember any of it? Please, we got to hear this.
um, I think I did a cover of Bruno Mars's "Billionaire."
Oh, yeah,
Um,
okay.
and obviously it was about like it was like the French American War, not the Revolutionary War. So it was like the Indians and the French, and I picked the side of view of the Indians. So I think the opener was "I want to be an Indian so freaking bad."
Mm.
But and then I had the material, I had the stuff, so I started grinding GarageBand and then posting on SoundCloud and just freaking getting after it. And then and it never stopped. I mean, there was never a time where I wasn't doing it. So I always knew that's what I wanted to do, but I always thought it was super normal, and I didn't. It wasn't like a choice or like a day I decided. I just happened to be on that path always, and I'm super blessed for that, man. I mean, that's incredible. Saying I never thought about it. I never said it out loud. So I'm super blessed that that's been my path.
Dude, that's awesome. It's actually crazy because I remember back when I was in like middle school, high school, and we would have projects like that as well. And I did
Yeah,
the same thing. I have a whole rap about like Russian like czars or whatever.
yeah. Let's go. That's
Yeah,
awesome. Yeah,
so
so
like,
you understand, man. That's
dude, I
beautiful.
totally get it. I
We should trade
totally,
the songs. We should find the file and trade. I'm trying to hear your song.
I'll s- I'll send it to you. I will
All
legit.
right, all right. Let's go. Thank you.
Okay, but sorry. So, you were telling me about how your family, how they had audio like recordings of them like performing. Like, what are these out on YouTube? Are these somewhere that the people can see? Like, this is like I definitely would love to hear like where Stephen Cranberry like got his inspiration from. Like, that's pretty cool.
They're just CDs that my parents have. And they're few and far between. I don't know if it's online anywhere. And obviously I'm biased a little bit, but in my mind, it was like incredible. I was like,
Yeah.
there's no way this is my family doing that.
And especially on a
But
CD, it's like, wow, that's professional. Like,
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so I always knew that, while my family was making songs, like that's what everyone does.
mm-hmm.
Uh, but I wish it was on YouTube. I would love to be bumping that in my car right now. But unfortunately, I don't think there's any way to access that stuff. But
Man, yeah, man, I would love to. That would be something cool to sample maybe one day, when you're
dude, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. You never know. Hindsight's always 2020. There's so many things I would pick up and hold on to, and but
absolutely, man. That'd be great. Hey, do you ever think maybe your family, hops on one of the Stephen Cranberry track?
this is big. It's big. I'm trying to get my dad to get a little interface, or to get Logic, so he can play me a little guitar riff.
Wow, that would
Um,
be big.
yeah, it'd be awesome. I'm trying to get my mom to sing. She wants to do some stuff, but she's sort of over it. She kind of just likes to do it for fun.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, there's definitely so many people in my family that I would love to have a part of my songs, man. That just hasn't worked out yet. Yet is the word, because you go visit your family. We're all spread out everywhere, and I don't you never bring your whole Mac and your mic and stuff.
Mhm.
But yeah, that's I'm gonna put that in the memory brain. I'm gonna start remember that. I'm gonna get some people on there.
Don't discredit voice memos, my friend. Like just having that right there,
Voice memos.
like,
Okay.
bro, that's you could put that right into any Logic, any DAW. It's easy.
Okay. All right. Well, that's a good idea. The voice memos. All right. I'm doing it.
What do you think is a motivating factor that drives your artistic creation, and how does it influence that music that you make?
Hmm. Motivating factor. Um. Well, there's the parable of the talents, right? Where in the Bible where the master gives these coins to his servants,
Mm.
and the two servants go out and they multiply their talents, and the master is super pleased with them. He said that's a great thing. But there's a servant who buried his talent so he wouldn't lose it, and he didn't tell anybody. He just buried it for himself. And the master was not happy with with that servant. So obviously we all have talents and things we're supposed to do, and we're supposed to, be fruitful with them, and we're supposed to, like I said, multiply the blessings, man. And for a long time, I kept it to myself and I tried to bury it. So it's super motivating to me, just to be fruitful with what God's given me, man. Because I didn't do anything for my voice or my ability to write. That was just handed to me, really. So I take a lot of responsibility to just use it and be fruitful with it at the end of the day.
I know you're saying your family is definitely an influence because it's been around you all your life, but musically, who are some other influences?
Hmm. Well, dude, as you know, man, there's so many talented people out there. Um, the Fleet Foxes? You ever heard the Fleet Foxes?
I have.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, dude, the guy from the Fleet Foxes does these crazy harmonies and the way he stacks his layers, and like that's something that's super inspiring to me. Did listen to a lot of Jordan Ward.
Oh, dude, I love Jordan Ward for
Dude, he's so
sure.
good. He's so good.
What's your favorite
I
Jordan
mean,
Ward
obviously,
song?
well, I think I'll go with Cherry Moya. What about you?
Bro, you're speaking to my heart right now. I like Lil Baby Crush. I love
Of course,
Cherimoya.
of course.
Honestly, anything off that More Word album, it was really, really
Yeah,
good.
yeah, incredible tape, man. He's super talented. His voice is butter, man. It's crazy.
Yeah. Is he someone that you'd love to see a collab with in like your career as like a future,
Yeah, I mean, dude,
collaboration?
that'd be great. That'd be great. We'll see what happens, man. That'd be awesome.
Hey,
That'd be
man,
awesome.
putting it out right now, like
Yeah, there we go. We said it. We said it. It's
we're
gonna
gonna
happen.
add him. Jordan Ward, what are you doing? Um,
Uh, I mean,
so
obviously, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no,
Go
no,
ahead.
I'm sorry. I was about to say continue on with what you were saying.
Well, like the goats, like Post Malone,
Mm,
obviously. Especially like the Stony album. Um, Juice World, of course.
yeah.
Um, I mean Drake. I mean, all the goats have had super heavy influences on me. I'm trying to think of somebody. I had a Lil Peep phase. I love the way Lil Peep does his mix.
Yeah, yeah.
He had a grip on me for a little bit. Um, I like the Killers. I like Pearl Jam. I
Mm.
like Kings of Leon.
This is a huge like range of artists, which is crazy cool.
Yeah, we try. My dad has great music taste. So when he was always driving around, so it was just all kinds of different influences. And then when I got to California, people were listening to Kid Cudi and stuff like that. So I was super blessed to be around all kinds of different type of music.
So it's
Um,
interesting. I'm sorry to cut you off.
no, 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 go ahead, bro, go ahead.
It's interesting that you were saying that Drake was one of your influences, and you kind of represent California as like your hometown, especially with what's been going on recently. Kind of what are your thoughts on this whole Drake and the West
Oh
Coast
man,
beef?
I can't answer that, bro. You know, I I have no idea. I have
Yeah.
no idea. Um, I wasn't. I don't know any of those guys personally, and I kind of keep my nose out of.
Well, no, I just mean like, what do you think that Kendrick won? Do you think that?
Oh. Bro. I mean, sheesh, dude. Who won the beef? I guess my answer would be two goats can coexist.
Mm,
I'd say there's no winner, no loser. I mean, they're both greats in their own right. So,
okay. No, that's a good answer. That's a very, very good
what
answer.
what, what do you think?
What do I think?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm wearing LA. I think Kendrick won
Okay.
that
Oh
beef.
yeah, yeah, yeah. There you go. There you go. Of
I mean, all love for Toronto, but not
course, of
like
course.
us. You can't Super Bowl performance kind of deal. It's
Yeah.
like it's unprecedented.
It was pretty insane to witness. Um,
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's crazy. What would you classify your genre as? Because you do a lot of like a lot of vocals, a lot of like just a lot of like R&B, more pop vocals. But I've heard people classify you as like as rap or hip hop. So what would you classify yourself as?
hmm. I don't know, man. It's definitely a lot of R&B. Definitely is hip hop, and there are like some elements of some pop. Maybe I don't know. Is alternative R&B? Is that a genre?
Yeah, man, they're making up ones every day, so I'll take alternative R&B. That's a
Yeah,
great
yeah,
one.
yeah. There you go.
Um, so how do you, I know we were talking about how your sound has evolved, but can you go a little bit more in depth about that on how exactly your sound has evolved since well, now you're making this transition from Churchill to Stephen Cranberry, so there's obviously gonna be a difference in the music, but like how exactly has that sound evolved in your words?
Hmm. Um. I think. Wow, this is a good question, man. I'm kind of stumped. How has it evolved? I think the message is more important in the music. I think I've been I've been blessed to find some maybe some better samples, and I mean I definitely do a lot of work like more layers on the stuff and more harmonies. Man, how has it evolved? What would you say if you had to? And I'm putting you on the spot here. You don't have to.
No, no, no. Let me think here. I think that your sound is a lot more, it's a lot more thoughtful. I like you were kind of saying, your message is now a little bit more thought out. I think as you can see that in your production as well. You see that there's one thing on your latest single I still don't really understand. It's the way you say garden and garbage. Um, it's I like it, but I don't understand it. But it gives back to this idea that like you're doing this out of the lightheartedness of you, and I think that um, the way your sound has evolved is before um, 16 things or 16 uh, I'm sorry, I can't think of the name of it right now.
Yeah. 16. Yeah. You're on there. Also,
um
bro, I'm like sweat. I gotta turn the car. Let me know if the can you hear? Is my car really loud right now?
no, no, it's perfect.
No? Okay, perfect. Let's do it. But I'm sorry to interrupt you, man.
No,
But
no, you're totally good. No, I don't have the your discography up in front of me, but I was listening to 16 something. I
yeah,
just
yeah.
can't remember the name. I'm sorry, but listening to that versus listening to your latest single, it's you're thinking about like a lot more, and you can see that in the music. So that's how I would say that your music's evolved. I don't know if you would agree with that or.
Yeah, man, thank you. That means a lot to me. You're me being more thoughtful. I mean, that's incredible. I appreciate that. Thank you.
So, talk to me. We were just talking a little bit about your recent release, but talk to me about the inspiration behind this release. You just released two singles.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so, talk to me about these.
Okay, well, Man of the House. I mean, uh
Man of the house, man of the house, baby. Yeah, bro.
I think that just goes to what I said earlier, trying to talk about Christian points of views and perspectives, and maybe put a little bit of swag on on the culture, on the Christian culture. But I mean, the man of the house, I mean, that's something we all strive to be, right? And I haven't necessarily heard a song that really talks about that. So and do your thing, man. I mean, dude. Um, I answered a question from you that said you asked me if there's ever times where I'm like, doubtful or, should I give up? And I think I maybe wasn't totally honest now that I'm thinking about it. I mean, there's tons of times, where I felt, uh, doubtful. I live in Chattanooga right now. If you know where that is.
I feel like I've heard of it. I don't know why I've heard of it, but I feel like I've heard of Chattanooga.
Maybe you heard that Morgan Wallen song, the Chattanooga Freight, talking about the trains. All
I
right, bro.
don't think so. I don't know why I've heard of Chattanooga, but I definitely heard of it.
Okay. It's right there on the border of Tennessee and Georgia. It's like,
Okay.
uh, but
Are
yeah,
you a
bro.
big
Well,
Morgan Wallen fan? You like country?
of course. Morgan's he's incredible. He's the goat.
Yeah.
Do you like
Okay.
Morgan?
I'm not a huge country guy to be honest with you. But it's crazy because well, being out in Bonnaroo, it's like in the middle of Tennessee. It's a lot of country
Yeah, yeah.
artists are out there. You know what I mean? So it was cool. I really enjoy it. I love seeing it live. I think it's better live than it is like on like production.
Okay, okay, I can understand that. And this is your first time, right? In
Yeah, it was my
Tennessee.
first time.
Gotcha. And what were you doing in Bonnaroo? You said you were helping out somewhere?
Yeah, dude, I was doing externship work. So what it was like there were volunteers that came in. I was the person that was kind of like sending them out and sending them to do their thing. So I was like basically like HR for like these people. So
Wow, okay, that's
every
crazy.
complaint,
Holding it, holding it down, man. Every complaint, everything. That sounds like a lot. But
showers are
you seem like
broken,
a
it's
really
my
nice
fault.
guy, though. You said what?
Say showers are broken, it's my fault.
Yeah, yeah, it's your fault. Dang, man. Patient man to be able to do that.
Gotta be, bro, gotta be. That's why I never did it again though. But
Okay, it's one time. I mean, it's a good memory to put in the bank, though.
oh,
Ain't too
absolutely.
bad.
Absolutely. But I'd love to go back to Tennessee at some point. I feel like Tennessee would be amazing.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. It's a wonderful place, man. And I gotta go see Massachusetts.
Oh, dude, anytime you're up in near Boston, yeah, bro, come out. I'll show you the good spots.
All right, sounds good. Sounds good.
Have you ever been out to the East Coast at all? You've ever been up to like New York or anything like that?
Yeah, I've been to New York maybe once or twice, like Manhattan and stuff like that, but never outside of the city.
Okay, that's
Um,
fire.
Never seen Boston or Philadelphia or really anything.
Bro, you
So
gotta see the
there's
big
definitely a
green.
lot to the big three.
Yeah, Boston, Philly, and New York.
Yeah, man, dude, that's on the list, man. That'd be awesome. Especially, I'm a big history guy. I love history. I gotta see the Liberty Bell. You
Absolutely,
know,
man.
the old downtown in Boston. You know,
Yeah,
where all the stuff. It's on the list, man.
absolutely. So, like, being a big history buff, like, what's like your favorite like time period? I know you were saying that you started off rapping with the French Revolution, but what is
Yeah,
is
yeah,
that your
yeah, yeah.
favorite time period of all time? Like, what's
Yeah, I do have a fondness for the colonies. I like the little wigs and the way they spoke. Um, but I'd say and I don't want to give a every dude's answer is like the Roman Empire, right? Um,
we think about
but
it once a day?
man, it makes sense. There's so many great things that came from it. Um, um, let's see, bro. I mean, I'd probably go in what's it called? Antiquity. Like before. Yeah, dude, I don't know. That's a tough one. But yeah, I'm gonna go colonial. I like
Okay,
I like
fire.
I like yeah, yeah. Early America.
I like it, bro. Hey, I think my favorite time period, I don't even know, man. If I had to choose, I think the 90s were cool. Like I think,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I feel like it'd be cool to be like a 90s baby. I'm post 90s, so I was like just late to the party.
Okay. Yeah,
Um
yeah, yeah. When's your birthday, bro?
I'm September 25th, 2001, bro. That's me.
2001. Okay, September 25th. Okay, you got a birthday coming up then soon.
Couple months,
Okay.
man.
So you'll be 24,
Yes, sir.
25,
24.
24. Okay, awesome,
Kobe year.
awesome. Your Kobe year? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Get out of the way, man.
Yeah,
Serious
bro,
liabilities.
exactly. There you go. You know about it.
Yes, sir. I'm '02, January '02. So
Oh, okay,
yeah,
yeah. So you're 22 right now? No, you're 23. You
20,
just turned 23.
23. Just
Yeah,
in 23. Yeah,
that's
yeah.
awesome, bro. Bless up, bless up.
Yes,
Uh,
sir.
what's like one lyric from your newest release that really means a lot to you?
Um, I get out the way for you. Just do your thing. Um, I mean, just being doubtful and being in your head, staying in your own way all the time, and criticizing your own music, and trying to, just being a jerk. You know, um, just to what you're creating, and I'm sure that's something that every artist and whatever has gone through. And it's not, in my opinion, it's no way to be. Um, so this song with me talking to myself,
Hmm.
just being like, you're good, bro. Like I'm not gonna, you know, treat you like this, whatever. Like you can do whatever you want. gotta do your thing. Like it's okay.
Yeah,
You don't gotta be
absolutely.
perfect, you know.
Dude, I love it. And like with these new songs, with this new era of Stephen Cranberry, like what do you want, what kind of legacy do you want to leave with this new music?
Legacy, man. Um, man, it'd be awesome to be. You mean legacy as far as like what I'm leaving like my family, or like when people talk about Stephen Cranberry?
When people talk about Stephen Cranberry, like what do you want them to think about? What do you want them to remember?
The message, man. The message, you know. Um, the relatable things that are maybe in the songs, you know, that they held on to, and you know, maybe they're in their own way, and like
Yeah.
gotta get out, and like it's all right. Um, yeah, the message for sure, or just even like the encouragement, you know, or the vibe, you know, the energy. Um, but yeah, I'd say most probably the message though, for sure.
And how do you define success as an artist?
Um, hmm. Well, I mean, having anybody listen to it and want to like talk to me is sounds pretty awesome to me.
Hmm.
Um, but successful is being able to accumulate an audience by doing things that are true to yourself, you know, and the things that you really believe in.
Yeah.
Um, and I mean, I don't know if that's controversial. I mean, um,
I
but
don't think it's
yeah, I
controversial
said
at
it's
all, man.
just being you, you know, following the North Star. Um, and you know, I mean, people want to show love. That's incredible. That's awesome. That's the goal.
Um, do do people giving you negative comments and do negative comments get to you, or are you a little bit more like shielded when it comes to that type of thing? You don't really notice them.
Um, if it's I think I already know like the type of person that would give me a negative comment. You know, I understand that my music isn't for everybody,
Hmm.
and I don't try to maybe act like it's for everybody. So when people say this, you know, I kind of just take it on the chin, being like, you know, they just don't understand, and like that's all right. I mean, I want to go out and say some negative stuff on on somebody's, you know, artwork or you know who they are. So that people, the people like that sort of have a disconnect from me. I just understand like we're different folks.
Yeah.
But I mean, it doesn't feel good for sure. Like you know, having somebody say stuff. But I think I'm pretty good at figuring out whose opinions someone I should listen to and who's someone I should not.
Do you? So sorry, I totally lost my train of thought for one
No, no,
question.
you're good. No, you're
Skip
good. You're
into
good.
another. You haven't released an album yet. You really only released EPs. You released
Yeah, yeah.
singles. Do you? Is there a reason for this? Like, what's the reason why you haven't put out an album?
Man, you know, I just spent the last like 2.5 years just working on songs, making songs. I've always played catch up in my career, I guess, where you know, I'd have one song in the vault. That's the one I want. And I drop it, and then I have to like scramble to find the next one. And that was just super exhausting, and you know, it wasn't fun. Um, so I wanted to take some time off and just build a vault up. I think I got you know maybe close to 100 now that
Oh
I'd be
man,
interested in deleting, which sounds crazy because you know that was never something that I ever had. So
yeah,
yeah, the album is definitely it's in the realm of possibility for sure now. We just haven't got there yet. We're getting my singles out there.
yeah,
I'm posting on social media, trying to get my you know the engine rolling,
mm,
get a little loose. You know, remember how to do it.
yeah.
And then so yeah, that'll be coming. But yeah, I just never had the material. I never had the body of work.
But now, yeah, now you're starting to build that, so that's really all that matters. So
Yes, sir.
you're still a young artist. You've only been
Yeah,
making
yeah.
music for not that long. But where what am I trying to ask here? Um, what else are you doing throughout your day to day, to help support you as an artist?
I go to the University of Tennessee. I'm studying. Um, health and exercise science.
Oh, okay.
Um, and this is a stepping stone again to PT school. So throughout the day, I'm grinding class. I'm going to cafes. I got a bad coffee addiction, so I'm always trying to feed that.
Absolutely, man.
But yeah, grinding the books, dude, trying to do the right things, study. It's
Totally
hard
get it.
though, bro. I mean, you're in school right now. It's tough.
Yeah, bro. I just graduated actually.
Oh, you did, bro?
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you
That's
so much.
incredible.
I really
Good for
appreciate you,
you.
bro. Um,
Yeah, yes, sir.
But so tell me about that added stress, being a student, I understand what it's like to be both a student and an artist, putting out
Okay.
that music.
Yeah.
Um, it's tough. And I know for me personally, it wasn't until I left school that I realized like how much more time you could devote to being an artist. So tell me about that day to day, especially, being a health and what was it? Health and science? No,
Health and exercise science.
health and exercise science major.
Yeah.
Um, that's a stressful field in terms of like you have to really hit the books and stuff like that. So tell me about that a little bit.
Yeah, man, it's super tough. Most days I sit in class and I fantasize about doing music stuff, which, so does everybody.
I'm sorry if
But
you
it's
can
been, it's
hear like
definitely been,
this
you said,
crazy the horn. I'm sorry if you can hear these horns behind me. It's
oh no, that's all good, man. That's all good. Um, it's been challenging for sure. A lot of stress, a lot of time management that I had to learn. Um, and truthfully, if we're being honest, I've been slacking off on my education so I could work on music stuff. So, but yeah, it took me a long time to find the balance. And last semester, especially, I was just, freaking stressed out all the time,
yeah,
freaking tired all the time. But I was still able to find, those maybe 2 hours before bedtime to make some stuff. But we have the summertime now. I'm off. I'm hanging out, so I have tons of time to devote to,
in the
making
grind
content.
season.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, totally get it. So what's next for you? In terms of you're talking about the summer, talking about a lot more time being able to spend on this music. What do you hope to
Yeah.
accomplish, by the end of the summer?
Huh. Accomplish at the end of the summer. Um, I think just to keep the consistency, keep dropping all the songs. And it'd be great to just not miss a month of dropping singles. And then maybe see the page grow a little bit, maybe some streams grow a little bit, but most importantly, just getting the music out there.
Well, I
Um,
mean, hopefully with this, we try to we build big you up a little bit. You know what I mean?
yeah, bro, this is awesome, man. I appreciate you guys having me. This is
Yeah,
sick.
dude, of course. All right, this is my last question for you, and then I'll let you
All
go. I
right,
know your phone's overheating. I know you're overheating. I got you, bro. If
let's
there's
hear
one
it.
thing you could say to the world, what would it be?
Do yo thing.
Mmm, easy. I like
Yes,
it.
sir. There it is.
Bro, I just want to thank you once again for doing this with me. Literally, great interview. Like I've enjoyed this so much. I've loved getting to know you so much.
Yeah, likewise, Jason. Thank you, bro. Appreciate you.